far learned about alchemy and the apothecary's art. He used the padlock he'd been given to secure the trunk and hurried to Herr Rying's laboratory. That evening. "Hey, what's the smell?" Christoph Baer asked as he followed Philip into their room. Philip was still ruminating over the very good dinner he'd just eaten, and didn't immediately hear his roommate's comment. "Hey, Gribbleflotz, Baer asked you a question," Heinrich Weidemann said as he thumped Philip. That caught Philip's attention. "What?" he asked, rubbing his arm where Heinrich had hit him. "What's the smell?" Heinrich asked. Philip sniffed. He didn't smell anything unusual, and he said so. "There's something different about the smell of the room, and you're the only change, so what is it?" Friedrich Wechsler, the third apprentice sharing the room with Philip, asked. Philip became immediately defensive. He sniffed the air again. "Do you mean the herbs I spread over the straw in my mattress?" he asked. Christoph approached Philip's bed and sniffed. "That's it. Why did you spread herbs over the straw?" he asked. "To keep away vermin." Philip was afraid the older apprentices would hurt him, so he resorted to a technique he'd used in his stepfather's household. "I've got some more if you'd like to spread it over your own mattresses, and I've got another mixture that promotes good sleep," he offered as he opened his trunk and produced a couple of bags of herbs. "How would you know about herbs and vermin?" Heinrich asked. "And what are you doing with bags of them?" "My stepfather was an apothecary. These are his herbal mixtures for bedding," Philip said. "They're very effective." Christoph and Friedrich immediately accepted the offer. Heinrich looked from the cloth bags in Philip's hand to his bed. His face went through all sorts of contortions before he finally added his acceptance. The next morning. Philip woke suddenly. There'd been a strange sound. Then he remembered where he was and relaxed. "Hey, sleepyhead, it's time to get up," Christoph said as he shook Philip. "I'm awake," Philip said, as he pulled the covers aside so he could get out of bed. "What do I do now?" "Just follow us," Christoph said. "Do you know where you'll be working today?" "With Herr Rying," Philip said. Heinrich snorted. "A green boy like you won't be working with Herr Rying." "Give over, Heinrich," Friedrich said. "Philip means he'll be working in Herr Rying's laboratory." He turned to Philip. "That's right, isn't it?" Philip nodded. "Most of the apprentices in his laboratory are all right, but you'll want to watch out for Bernhard Bimmel," Christoph said. "He can be nasty." "He's not that bad," Heinrich muttered. "Just because he's your friend doesn't mean he's not a bully," Christoph said. He turned to Philip. "That was the best night's sleep I've had in ages. What's in those little bags you gave us to put under our pillows?" "It's just a mixture my stepfather used to make. He was an apothecary. I have the recipe." "Well, I'm with Christoph," Friedrich said. "Thanks to your herbal mixture, I had a really good night's sleep. See you later," he said, as he headed off to breakfast. Heinrich was the last of Philip's roommates to leave. He paused beside Philip long enough to mutter his thanks for the sleep-promoting herbs before he too disappeared. Philip watched him walk off, surprised at the reaction of his roommates to such a simple thing. He was brought back to the real world when his stomach rumbled, reminding him that he was missing valuable eating time, and he hurried off after his roommates. Herr Rying's laboratory, the assay office. Except for its size, the laboratory where Philip was to work wasn't too different from his late stepfather's workroom. He was able to recognize many of the apparatus from his years helping his stepfather as Jakob Rying led him around the laboratory, explaining what things were and what they were used for. Jakob stopped by a couple of beer barrels sitting on a bench with taps installed. "Working in the laboratory, you're going to get thirsty. Don't try drinking from these barrels. They contain stale beer that we are distilling to make aquavitae. If you want a drink, there are barrels of small beer over there." Philip followed the direction Jakob was pointing and located the barrels tucked away in a corner by the door to the outhouse. "I understand, Herr Rying." Philip was then led past the brick furnaces with their circular openings on the top, into which alembics were placed, to a workbench where there was a range of different-sized pestles and mortars. Jakob tapped on the shoulder of the journeyman working there. "Wilhelm, this is Philip Gribbleflotz. He'll be helping you." He turned to Philip. "Wilhelm will look after you. Just do whatever he tells you to do, and don't worry. There's not a lot that can go wrong with a mortar and pestle."